All right, in this lesson, we're going to talk about charting a budget. And your budget basically is where your money goes after you receive it. How is it spent? What is it spent on? And a lot of people like to keep track of that just to know if they're going to have enough money to get by for the month, or also maybe where they can make some cuts in their budget so they have more expendable income. These, what you're seeing here, sample A and sample B, are an example of a budget matrix. So this is sample A here. This is a budget matrix based on different types of expenditures and what months throughout the course of the year they have those expenditures. For example, their insurance is paid in March, in June, September, and December. So all the months are laid out, and then over-the-counter meds for this particular example, that's every month. Doctor visits in January, July. Life insurance when their premiums are due in those months. Health club dues, that could be monthly or it could be annual. Sample B is exactly the same thing, but instead of just checking off the months that they actually occur, it's the actual dollar amount when they occur and the actual dollar amount. So for insurance, remember it was in March. Well, it was actually $450. So this is going to be a more accurate reading because it breaks down the actual expenses that you have in January, in February, in March, in April, May, and so on. So what you're going to be asked to do in this lesson is to create some year-long budget checkoff matrices and also the actual dollar amount matrix based on some information. So you can see a mortgage is monthly, so the mortgage would be checked off every month. Utilities is monthly, sanitation. So these are all the expenditures that you would have over the course of a year. And one of them just popped out at me. We probably wouldn't have that one here, but we would have other expenses maybe that other people don't have based on your geographic region. But the checkoff matrix, checkoff, insurance is semi-annually. So June and December, so you need two of those listed. Childcare every other month beginning with February. Childcare every other month beginning with February. So it's a checkoff matrix. You could also use pie charts. Household expense, 40%. So you draw a circle and you create these pie slices based on the percentages. I know you guys have seen these many times before. Taking you back to some geometry. So this question says, Jeff budgets his monthly expenses as follows. He used a software program to construct his pie chart to show his expense percentages. How did his category percentages affect the construction of the chart? So the percentage of the total area of each sector corresponds to the percentage of Jeff's money budgeted for each category. His household expenses was 40%. So if I wanted to find, and the question doesn't really ask this, but this is what it's asking. This central angle, okay, that central angle is 40% of the whole thing. Well, the whole thing would be 360 degrees, right? So 40% of 360, so you would just multiply 40 times 360 to find the measure of that central angle there, which is 144. So if you're asked a question like that on your homework or your quiz, you just take the percentage and multiply it times 360 because that's what the whole thing is equal to. So we look at this example. Kate and Paul budget $800 per month for the transportation as shown in the pie chart. What information can you conclude from the pie chart? Well, you can see where the majority of their money is spent. You can see that certain things have about the same budgeted, like repairs and parking, because the size of the pie is about the same. This is the least of their expenses. If you look at the fuel, that looks like to be a 90-degree angle, which would mean that would be a fourth of the whole thing. This thing would be 1/4 of the whole thing. And if they budget $800 for transportation total, and that's a fourth, then they spend about $200 in fuel. It looks like this is about half. So if this is 200, then that would be about 100, which means that would be about 100. So you can just kind of deduct roughly what those costs would be. All right, let's see. If you are filling out a budget matrix for specific things, this one's talked about health-related costs, health insurance, prescriptions, meds, doctor visits, life insurance, health club dues. You can get totals that you spend for the year. Let's see, a lot of this stuff is just self-explanatory. Take us back to some Algebra 1. Beth is a coffee lover. In her budget, Beth has a section for coffee. She's budgeted $90 to spend per month on the coffee she buys at two different locations, Gas Mart and the Perfect Coffee Company, which is probably a lot like Starbucks. Gas Mart coffee's $1 a piece. At the Perfect Coffee Company, it's $3 a piece. She tries to balance both through a month. We're going to construct a budget line that shows the different combinations that she can purchase of each types of coffee and still stay within her $90. So we're going to call the Gas Mart coffee X, and we'll call the Perfect Coffee Company coffee Y. And so this is going to be X, and this is going to be Y. And at Gas Mart, it's $1 a piece, and at Perfect Coffee Company, it's $3 a piece. So if we simply take the $1 for the Gas Mart, $3 for the Perfect Coffee Company, she can spend up to $90 on that. So we have that equation right there. So if we were looking to graph that and want to put that in slope-intercept form, remember slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where I need to get y by itself. I would take away the x from both sides first, and that leaves me with 3y equals negative x plus 90, then dividing by 3. Negative x divided by 3 is negative 1/3 x. 90 divided by 3 is 30, and then you could graph it. Remember, you were going to begin with our b number, which is 30. That's this graph right here. And then we're going to go down 1 and over 3, down 1. Yeah, the boxes are small. Let's see if I can zoom in. Down 1 over 3, down 1 over 3, and so on and so on. Okay. So point A, anything under here, under the line, she's not spending $90 basically. She's spending less than 90. Anything on the line, like point B, she's spending exactly 90. Anything on the line, she spends 90. And anything above the line, she's over her budget and she's going to be spending too much. So for this point, the X number is 20. So she's going to be spending $20 there. If this is the situation, the Y number is 6. So 6 times 3 is 18. So 20 plus 18 is 38, and that's going to be under her budget. That's why that one's underneath the budget. All right, I think that just about wraps up the budgets.